I've studied assassinations, and I must tell you, the most impactful people, the people that do the most, you take a look at the people, Abraham Lincoln, I mean, you go through the people that have gone through this, where they got them. But the people that do the most, the people that make the biggest impact, they're the ones that they go after. Believe me, because, you know, it's my life. And I want to live because I want to make this country great. That's why I want to live. But when you're impactful, they go after you. When you're not impactful, they leave you alone.
Well, the Southern Poverty Law Center disappeared pretty quick, didn't it? Timing of a shooter seems to always happen when the sky is falling for the evil ones, the Democrats, the rhinos, the media, and more. So much has occurred since the shooting, folks. Everybody's heard about it. We have a lot to cover on this, and some great comms letting us see the key evil players are in panic mode. Now more than ever, stick around. Hopefully we can get through it all. Thank you for following us on Rumble. We've got 508,000 plus followers. I think we're at 510 now. And because of you hitting that like button and placing comments below the video, we were number 2 again the other day on the leaderboard for Rumble, right next to Dan Bongino. And that's thanks to all of you. Remember, we've got the celebration of 250 years merch for you, the t-shirts and the hats. Also, the women's 3/4 sleeve V-necks are finally here. Also, we have new colors in our classic hoodies. You see those on your screen? Looks like we've got bright pink, really light, maybe a purplish color, and we've got the camouflage look there. Many available up to size 3XL. So just real quick, for those that didn't get too many of the details, leftist assassin of the month. He was a teacher, Cole Allen. He was, I believe, Teacher of the Year in December of 24. Secret Service agents moved with lightning precision, overpowering and detaining the suspect before he could breach the ballroom doors. No major injuries were reported among the dignitaries, though the targeted agent sustained wounds in the exchange. Trump was unshaken, later addressed the nation in a press conference. We're going to show you some of that, vowing that the would-be assassin would not derail America's resilience, and even expressing a desire to return and finish the event. Of course, they didn't finish it. He's asking to move on. We'll look at that soon. He wants to do another one. The swift response underscored the heightened security protocols in place since his 2 prior assassination attempts during the 2024 campaign. Now, I'm going to show you here in a moment, for those that have been questioning how quickly or slowly they got President Trump out of there, I'm going to show you some comments from those that are understanding that whole event and how that played out. The shooter was identified as a 31-year-old man from California, described by law enforcement as a highly educated tutor and amateur video game developer whose social media footprint showed no immediate red flags of extremism. Now in custody and facing federal charges, including assault on a law enforcement officer and firearm violations in a crime of violence, he joins a grim pattern of would-be attackers drawn to the president. As investigations unfold unto his motives, the incident serves as a stark reminder of the persistent dangers facing American leadership in an era of deepening political divides, leaving the nation to grapple once more with the thin line between discourse and danger. And I'm reading that from somebody who posted this and showing you, once again, if you're looking at your screen, in case you didn't see it, here's how it played out. President Trump posted this right after it happened. You can see this guy walks up slowly, and he takes off sprinting right through. And right when he sprints through, this guy wasn't paying attention. Right when the guy sprints through, you can see them immediately draw their weapons, and pretty fast, their training kicks in immediately when something like this happens, and they hunt him down. Now, let me show you this real quick. Actually, let me bring you over to the actual video that's going viral, showing them take out, looks like they take Vice President J.D. Vance out, right? Everybody's wondering, why did they grab him first and pull him out? And then they head over and President Trump is still down. They're still holding him down. They're still holding him down. And he finally makes his way out of the crime area or the scene where they believe the guy was going to go in and take him out. This guy, Kingsley Etiquette, put this out to just let him know, watch the video below, and I'll show you this video here. You hear the sounds? And everybody starts ducking. And you have this guy runs up, stands right in front of the president, one in the front, one right next to President Trump, and one on the backside. So you see it looks like a triangle there of support. And they've got another guy walking up over here and more. And so again, let's look at this video. You hear the gunshots, and then immediately everybody runs up and they see what happens. Well, this guy says they had to ensure the extraction route was clear. An extraction team was in place in case of any attack. Do you guys get that? It has to be clear. What if they grab him and run out there right away, and when they get out there, it's not clear, and there's another attacker waiting for him to run backstage so they can grab the president, the bad guys. If you watch the video, immediately one addition counter-assault team member walked in the extraction began. See, they extracted him after one guy came in. So the head of the presidential protective detail must ensure the extraction team is complete, the extraction route is to his gateway car is safe, and also the extraction location is ready. The head of the presidential protective detail must ensure everything listed above is ready before extraction begins. These are the rules guiding extraction of the United States president. Failure to do so comes with consequences. If the route to extract via land is too far, the air must come in because there is a maximum distance a United States president can move and travel by land. Now, let's listen to President Trump on his take.
You see the security moving quickly, right, within seconds, grabbing the vice president by his coat, lifting him up, bringing him out. Then the counter assault comes in. Took 10 seconds for them to flank you, Mr. President, and then 20 seconds to get you out. It looked chaotic. At one point, you were down. What was happening?
Well, what happened is it was a little bit me. I wanted to see what was happening, and I wasn't making it that easy for him. I wanted to see what was going on. And by that time, we started to realize maybe it was a bad problem, different kind of a problem, bad one, and different than what would be normal noise from a ballroom, which you hear all the time. And I was surrounded by great people, and I probably made them act a little bit more slowly. I said, wait a minute, let me see, wait a minute. So, I'm telling guys.
Just at that moment where it looks like you go sort of down with the service, you were telling them to wait?
Well, no, what happened is then I started walking with them. I started walking, and they said, please go down on the floor. So I went down, and First Lady went down also, but we were asked to go down by the agents as I was walking. In other words,
they wanted you almost to crawl.
I was standing up, pretty much. I was standing up and then turned around the opposite direction and started pretty much walking out, pretty tall, a little bent over because I'm not looking to be standing too tall. And but I was walking out. It was about halfway there, and they said, please go down to the floor, please go down to the floor. So I dropped to the floor, so did the First Lady.
Okay, so you got that. Okay, he's looking around, he wants to see what's going on. They're holding him, they're making sure the extraction points are clear, and then he finally makes his move out the door. Then he had a press conference. Obviously, a lot of you guys probably watched a lot of this, but let's just continue to put this together as we get to some comms.
Why do you think this keeps happening to you?
Well, I've studied assassinations, and I must tell you, the most impactful people, the people that do the most, you take a look at the people, Abraham Lincoln, I mean, you go through the people that have gone through this, where they got them, but the people that do the most, the people that make the biggest impact, they're the ones that they go after. They don't go after the ones that don't do much because they like it that way. And when you look at the people that have either, whether it was an attempt or a successful attempt, they're very impactful people. Just take a look at the names there, the big names. And I hate to say I'm honored by that, but I've done a lot. We've done a lot. We've taken this country, and we were a laughing stock for years, and now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We've changed this country, and there are a lot of people that are not happy about that. So I think that's the answer, Peter.
He lays it out. Those that do the right thing for this country, they get in the face of evil. They start messing with the central banks, right? Remember JFK? Start playing around with other countries and start telling them they've got to defend their own selves soon. Well, you start doing things like that, and they're going to start coming after you. And they're just not going to, in my opinion, reach him. I've got something to play at the end of this video today, very encouraging from a Christian lady that really lays it out that President Trump has got divine protection all around him. Now, I'm going to share something from Mike Davis in a minute on this, and hopefully you guys stick around.
Friends, let me ask you something. How long have you been trying to get healthy without really knowing what's going on inside your body? You've seen doctors, you followed advice, you may have tried diets or supplements that sounded right, but nothing really changed because you were still guessing. That's why my family and I work with Dr. Kelly Shockley. She doesn't guess, she tests.
One of the biggest ones that I didn't even know I had needed a win, and that is that I have stopped a dependency on melatonin after 10 years use, and in order to sleep. A lot of good results, but to stop that 10-year addiction has been just life-changing.
Dr. Kelly stepped outside the traditional medical system so she could do what the system simply doesn't allow. Look deeper, ask better questions, and get real answers.
And with complete and proper testing, and then actually interpreting those results differently than what the rest of the medical world does, we can find the why behind your diagnosis or the symptoms you're experiencing now that you didn't used to.
Through advanced testing, she uncovers what's actually driving symptoms: toxins, nutrient deficiencies, inflammation, stress patterns, the things you simply can't see without data. When we went through testing, she identified issues I had never even mentioned, things I didn't know were connected. That's when I realized how much I was guessing. This isn't cookie cutter care. It's not trend chasing. It's stewardship. God designed your body to heal, but you have to know what it needs. Testing lights the way. Go to corehealthadvantage.com/awk, learn how testing works, and decide if it's time to finally get real answers. It's in the description box below, including a link to our latest interview. You'll love it. Click on that link today.
So President Trump has already become one of the most consequential presidents in our history, says Mike Davis. He's a once-in-a-lifetime transformative leader, the most bold and fearless leader in modern history, with the most unique business and political background and skills. He knows how to lead. He knows how to deal. He knows how to win. The Democrats know this. He is an existential threat to their money, their power, and their world order. That's why they sabotaged his first term with bogus investigations and impeachment hoaxes and chased him out in a rigged election in 2020 and did everything possible to stop him in 2024, including attempting to bankrupt, debank, deplatform, imprison, remove from ballot, and even murder him twice, now 3 times. And folks, I'm just going to add, there's been a lot more. You remember they shot the missile at his plane near Washington State? You guys remember that? They just tried to do it again last night, right, for the third time. Yes, and that was the other night. This is written the day after, right, the assassination attempt again. Yes, the Democrat political and cultural leaders have 100% created and encouraged this assassination culture. They are to blame. They hate the American people for electing him. They are Marxists. They want to destroy America. Trump is in their way. I ran to Trump during the darkest time after the Mar-a-Lago raid when too many others ran from him. I knew instantly it was a bogus, lawfare operation. I told him he has to fight this and win. He did. I told him he is our only hope and of saving America. He has. I have gotten to know Trump well since then, including talking to him during his best and worst times. Trump is truly a great man. He loves our country. He's on a mission to save it. That's why he endured 9 years of pain when his life could have been so much easier. Better houses, cars, helicopters, airplanes, everything. Trump doesn't need his job. America needs him. Mark my words. Trump will go down as America's greatest president. He's beating demonic forces into spiritual warfare. And it is good versus evil. Good versus evil. So, something to catch on to with C-SPAN, they actually talk about decoding in a clip I'm about to play. This is before the shooting, okay? Trump makes his first statement about the shooting tonight, and I'm going to read it to you. And he said this, and then I'm going to show you about decoding, okay? It's very interesting. President Trump said, quite an evening in D.C., Secret Service and law enforcement did a fantastic job. They acted quickly and bravely. The shooter has been apprehended, and I have recommended that we let the show go on, all caps. But will entirely be guided by law enforcement. They will make a decision shortly. Regardless of that decision, the evening will be much different than planned, and we'll just plain have to do it again. It's from President Trump. Timestamp on this was 9:17 p.m. Okay? And you've got 9 plus 1 plus 7 equals 17. PSYOP confirmed. So as all of this plays out, listen to this.
Be interesting when President Trump posts on social media, which he just did.
Okay.
Quite an evening in D.C. Secret Service and law enforcement did a fantastic job. They acted quickly and bravely.
So I'm going to go through that because we already read it. And listen to what they say.
Let the show go on is in all caps.
All caps.
So he feels very strongly about that.
Mike Dubke, when you see something in all caps from the president, how should we read that? As a
well, I'm going to make a joke about this. If it's prior to midnight, he really means it. If it's after midnight, all bets are off.
But it sounds like let's going back to this Truth Social post. I have recommended that we let the show go on, but will entirely be guided by law enforcement. They will make a decision shortly. That was at 9:17 p.m. that he sent that out, and it is currently 10:30. So that was about an hour ago that he put this post out, or at least
no, it's only 9. It's only 9:20. I have, unless my watch is stopped.
No. You are correct. Okay. I apologize. I'm trying to tell military time here in the studio clock, and that's not going to be successful. My math skills are off.
So they're talking about. They're talking about timestamps, all caps, like DC Lidstone always captures that, right? All the capital letters. They're kind of letting us know. Interesting how they communicate, right? C-SPAN. Well, President Trump posted on Truth Social this crazy man who went in there and tried to go past Secret Service. There he is on his face. And he posted at 10:29 Eastern Standard Time these two, one photo, one video of him running through the Secret Service, trying to get through into the ballroom. Well, if you go to 10:29 on the cue board, thank you for your prayers. Forced reaction. One of many vehicles. Intercepts. Night with 2 in the target brackets. Birds. Fast movers. Forced projection. April showers. DC Lidstone caught that one. Going to get some more comms in a minute, but I wanted to show you this. Kaneko the Great looked into the Google Trends. Okay, before all the Google Trends space cadets go off. Here's Cole Thomas Allen, the name of the guy who was basically ran in there with his guns and knives. Well, if you look on Google, over the last week, spiking, the name Cole Thomas Allen, Tomas Allen, was showing up in Switzerland, Taiwan, China, Central African Republic, Ethiopia, Gibraltar, Moldova, South Korea, and Tanzania. Wow. That's pretty spooky. Now, Conoco Great also saw this. He found Cole Allen's archived tweets. He predicted Kamala wins all swing states compared to Trump's win in Nazis. He compared Trump's win to, quote, Nazis getting elected. And then he moved to an app called Blue Sky. The scary part, he retweeted every mainstream Democrat on his platform. I'm going to go through several of these that Conoco the Great dropped for us. Number 2, this Cole Allen guy. Leading up to the 2024 election, Cole Allen repeatedly shared Kamala Harris and Midas Touch posts. Breaking, Taylor Swift endorses VP Kamala Harris. That's what he posted. Trump's Project 2025 would eliminate the independence of the DOJ. Cole Allen shared mainstream Democrat politician posts like AOC, J.B. Pritzker, Senator Warren, and Senator Whitehouse. Trump is already breaking the law. It's on one of the posts. Prepare for a tsunami of plunder and corruption. Cole Allen retweeted mainstream Democrats comparing Trump to Hitler. He posted from J. Rubin, blogger, imagine obsessing over polls in the 1933 German election without covering Mein Kampf. This is what is going on now. Number 5, after the 2024 election, Cole Allen believed the mainstream Democrat narrative that a fascist convicted felon had become president. He shared Bill Kristol's belief that the Trumpist authoritarian project of personalized, concentrated, and arbitrary power is proceeding. Cole Allen shared Democrat conspiracies popular on X, including claims that Trump staged the Butler assassination. He shared posts claiming Tulsi Gabbard was a Russian asset. He also shared posts referring to Trump's cabinet as a rapist, spy, zealot, and anti-vaxxer. He worried about people wouldn't be able to get vaccines under Robert Kennedy Jr. Cole Allen shared many posts from Mueller. She wrote, Trump has nominated the most corrupt, ethically compromised, incompetent cabinet. These are the quotes that he was putting out to the public. Now, the scary part, Cole Allen looks like he came from a good family. Caltech graduate, master's in computer science. His beliefs mirrored mainstream Democrat talking points, yet he charged a Secret Service checkpoint with a shotgun willing to die for a shot at the president. This is why the left constantly calls Trump Hitler, ICE, the Gestapo, and they call us fascists, right? That rhetoric is now how violence gets justified against Trump, Charlie, or any of us, and it's escalating. The Luigi left is growing. Even Caltech grads from good families repeating mainstream Democrat talking points are willing to die for a shot at the president. Another read, we'll either have the first woman president or the end of America. That's what he posted. Also, Cole Allen retweeted mainstream Democrats like F.P. Wellman, David Frum, Don Winslow, stating that Trump was a fascist. Just named Putin as director of national intelligence. They're making fun of him. Some said there's no law anymore with President Trump. Right? Cole shared a Mary L. Trump post, Democrats stop playing by the rules that no longer exist, is one of those that he pushed out to the public. Imagine hearing this from Jimmy Kimmel.
Our First Lady Melania is here. Look at Melania, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow.
So, supposedly, he said this before the shooting. That's Jimmy Kimmel. CNN posted, how would an assassination attempt be staged on April 23rd, 2026? The Washington Post, or the Washington Compost, put their headline out, said Trump evacuated from White House Correspondents' Dinner after loud noises heard. So all those Washington Post cultists, people that actually read that thing, that rag, believe it. Oh, there's some loud noises. They're just making a big deal out of nothing. Come on.
And then if you go over to CNN, you hear this.
Let's not forget as well that, as you mentioned, Scott, and we talked about some of the people at the beginning of this dinner who were present in the room.
Yeah.
Erica Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk. You have people who are civilians who may or may not have had their own experiences with gun violence in this country. And as we know, gun violence, Steve Scalise also there, a victim of gun violence as well. And there are others who we are not naming in the moment as well. And just to think about the prevalence of gun violence more broadly.
Gun violence. Nothing about the guy, where he's from, how many times he reposted on social media over and over again, all the leftist talking points, evil against President Trump. No, then we're not getting to that. The problem is gun violence. Yeah. Carrie Lake said, I can't believe how lax the security was at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Upon entering, nobody asked to visibly inspect my ticket, nor asked for my photo identification. All one had to do was flash what appeared to be a ticket, and they were fine with that. When you consider you're entering a room full of fake news media, 90% of whom hate the president, you would think they would have better security. This is what happened when what sounded like gunfire erupted. On the way out, I called out a bunch of disgusting media who have been pushing hatred towards President Trump for years. They are a big part of the discord in this country. I'm going to show you how the media treated President Trump, specifically Norah O'Donnell, and how she phrased a question so that everyone in the world, the United States, and everyone listening would then draw conclusions based off the lies that she spewed out from an attacker who shouldn't have anything that he says. None of that should be brought to the public as if it's truth. Oh, you wait till you hear what she says. Your blood's going to boil. Well, folks, are you tired of big tech AI that censors your questions, spies on your chats, and lectures you every time you want a straight answer? It's time to break free with Venice.ai, the truly private, uncensored AI that gives you unlimited creative freedom. With Venice, your prompts and data stay 100% private. Everything runs locally on your device, not on their servers. No logging, no monitoring, no selling your data, just pure, unbiased intelligence from the best open source models out there. You get access to top tier chat, stunning image generation, video, music, code, custom characters, and more. Brainstorm ideas, write scripts, create art, or dive into any topic with guardrails holding you back. Well, whether you're a creator pushing these boundaries or someone who wants honest AI that doesn't judge, Venice delivers. No more watered down censored responses. This is AI the way it should be: private, powerful, and completely unrestricted. Head over to the link in the description box below. That's venice.ai/LT. Use code LT to enjoy private, uncensored AI. You'll get 20% off the pro plan by clicking on that link today. Use that special offer, venice.ai, private AI for unlimited creative freedom. So let's start with Face the Nation actually admitting on the left there's a threat to our constitutional republic.
White House officials tell our CBS News' Jennifer Jacobs that authorities have found anti-Trump and anti-Christian rhetoric on the suspect's social media accounts. We're also told by law enforcement sources both of his firearms were purchased legally in California. As for the defendant, Margaret, he'll appear in federal court tomorrow.
Can you believe it? Oh, he had anti-Trump and anti-Christian stuff. Yeah, we don't want to give out the details. We're just going to tell you that's what it was. Make it sound like we're giving you some of the truth, right?
I hope we're going to do it again. Nora, tell him to get it going, and we should do it within 30 days, and they'll have even more security, and they'll have bigger perimeter security. It'll be fine, but tell him to do it again. We can't let something be. It's not that I want to go. It's not, I'm very busy. I don't need that. I think it's very important that they do it again.
It's time to do it again. He wants to. He wants to have another event no matter what. So, 60 Minutes, Norah O'Donnell
Listen to what she does, and she's going to try to play dumb, and President Trump tears into her.
The so-called manifesto is a stunning thing to read, Mr. President. He appears to reference a motive in it.
So, we're going to talk about the guy who ran into that place with his guns and his knives. And he had an interesting manifesto. So, we're going to tell you what he said, because it's very important, right, that the whole world hears his allegations of why he had to come in there and try to shoot President Trump.
He writes this quote, administration.
And now they're going to quote it. A criminal gets his quote out to the entire world. If you're evil and you want to quote something and you want the world to believe it, all you have to do is run in past Secret Service, get knocked on the ground, and then the media is going to do the rest of the work that you were trying to do.
Officials, they are targets. And he also wrote this, I am no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I was waiting.
Can you believe that? We're going to play it one more time in case you missed it.
Traitor to coat my hands with no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people.
That's right.
Horrible people. Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me.
Did you hear what she said? Oh, do you think he's referring to you? Oh. She was waiting for that. The evil, trained agent. In my opinion, they put demons inside of their bodies so that they can have a little bit of extra power, right, that they think they have. The witches come around them and cast spells. All they can do to just throw knives and arrows at him, they do. And then she tries to interrupt. Oh, so you're saying it's you? Of course, that's who he's talking about. You read it.
I'm not a pedophile. You read that crap from some sick person. I got associated with all stuff that has nothing to do with me. I was totally exonerated. Your friends on the other side of the plate are the ones that were involved with, let's say, Epstein or other things. But I said to myself, I'll do this interview and they'll probably, I read the manifesto, he's a sick person, but you should be ashamed of yourself reading that because I'm not any of those things.
Mr. President,
and I was
these are
never,
the gunman's words.
Excuse me. You shouldn't be reading that on 60 Minutes. You're a disgrace. But go ahead. Let's finish the interview.
The other thing that he wrote.
Good
disgraceful.
job. He calls you disgraceful. One more time. Let me hear that part.
It's me. You shouldn't be reading that on 60 Minutes. You're a disgrace. But go ahead. Let's finish the interview.
The other thing that he wrote in
You're disgraceful.
You're disgraceful. You shouldn't be reading that. And I totally agree. You're disgraceful. You shouldn't be reading that. 3 months ago, Mark Ruffalo called Trump this.
The guy is a convicted felon or convicted rapist. He's a pedophile. He's the worst human being. If we're relying on this guy's morality for the most powerful country in the world, then we're all in a lot of trouble.
An actor. You have no idea what's going on with him, his life, nothing, no. But he's going to go out there and make accusations. Leftists tried to take out Trump, repeated this exact same lie as justification. Democrats are spreading disgusting lies and smears about Trump so that someone will take action. This is their goal, says Libs of TikTok.
President Trump, thank you, President Trump, and thank you for updating us on the suspect earlier.
Now, Caitlin Collins, do you think she's going to do gotcha? Do you think she's going to be rude to him after another attempt on his life? You're going to be shocked.
Aware of any threats? Was your team aware of any threats beforehand? And do you believe you were the target of this tonight?
I guess. I mean, these people they're crazy. They're crazy. And, you never know. He was very far away from me. He had to go through a lot. We had resources all over. We had resources sitting at tables, literally in disguise, sitting maybe at your table, who knows? But we had people all over the room, so he had a long way to go. That was really a first line of defense, and they got him. And they really, they acted incredibly. No, there was no notification. We had no idea.
Do you know of any political motivations from this?
Well, you never know. Now, we'll be able to tell you that maybe by tomorrow or the next day. He's in custody, and they're asking him a lot of questions. I guess they're going over, Todd, and they're already at his apartment. He lives in California.
Yes, sir.
And they're over there, so they'll be able to tell you. Thank you, Caitlin.
So he was nice to her. And he said, thank you. So you think that he just treats the media terrible all the time? No, he doesn't. As a matter of fact, listen to this from John Carl, ABC.
John, your phone rang early this morning?
ABC News This Week with George Slopadopoulos.
Yeah, my phone rang shortly after 7 a.m. My landline, George, actually a number that few people call, and it was President Trump calling. He said at first he was calling to see if I was okay with what happened last night. Are you okay? And then he reiterated many of the things he said in his press conference last night, emphasizing the unity that he felt in that moment, that he felt at the dinner before the shooting and certainly after with the people who reached out to him. And he said absolutely, and he was quite firm about this, that dinner must be rescheduled. It must be rescheduled. He knows that I was a former president of the White House Correspondents Association and had worked with him on a dinner that never actually happened back during COVID. And he was saying, we've got to get this dinner back on. It has to happen.
Yeah. Makes a call. Doesn't have to. He takes time out of his day to call somebody from the press. Do you think this will change your relationship with the press?
I saw a room that was just totally unified. It was in one way very beautiful.
Do you think this will change your relationship with the press?
Well, look, for whatever reason, we disagree on a lot of subjects. We talk about crime. I'm very strong on crime. It seems like the press isn't. It's not so much the press, it's the press plus the Democrats, because they're almost one and the same. It's like the craziest thing.
That's right. They're one and the same. The press and the Democrats, they're all together.
I have the strongest border we've ever had in the country, where, as you know, it said 0 people for 9 months came into our country through our southern border. We have a very tough border.
You guys should be reporting the good stuff, but you don't. They're definitely together. Here's a reminder. You guys have seen this a few times, but for those that might be new, let's remind you of how these Democrats operate in the mainstream media and others.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
There needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick them.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized right to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face!
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Look as his character is stabbed to death.
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
This way. That's it right there. Pull it up.
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
A Missouri state senator.
It goes on and on and on. Their rhetoric, how they behave, calling out for all types of evil against President Trump and more. And they get by with it. They get by with it. President Trump admitted that the building was not secure enough.
All of the conditions that took place tonight, and I will say, it's not a particularly secure building, and I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone-proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it.
They need it. Need that room. He's bringing it up now. You know, his wife was right there in the room, the press briefing room with him, standing next to Vice President J.D. Vance. Representative Brian Fitzpatrick said Melania Trump is a woman of extraordinary grace, kindness, and compassion, qualities she showed again in a moment of fear, chaos, and uncertainty. After yet another attempt on her husband's life, she provided aid and comfort to those who were ushered backstage, including my fiancée, Jackie. Even in a moment of profound personal anguish, her instinct was to steady others, calm, gracious, and thoughtful. That quiet strength is who she is. I have seen that same heart in our work together on the Take It Down Act and her critical humanitarian efforts to reunite Ukrainian children with their families, work that stands testament to the power of compassion to unite and overcome even the most formidable barriers. She's a class act, special person. Wishing Flotus a peaceful and fulfilling birthday today. I'm going to show you another young lady that's been making her rounds on social media, Caitlin Bennett. Listen to what she does when she flips the script on an anti-ICE protester.
I need y'all to get out of here with your sign.
What do you mean? Oh, you have borders on this campus?
No, we have this space reserved as an official event.
Yeah, so you have borders. Where's your borders at?
This whole green area right here.
Oh, so you want to control who comes in and out? Like an ICE agent or a border patrol agent. You wouldn't dare act like a fascist, would you? Ooh. I would really encourage you on a rally on a campus. This is an event for sanctuary campuses. You probably shouldn't act like a fascist border patrol agent. You should take down your borders and let whoever wants on the space, okay?
Crickets.
Why is your lip quivering?
Mm-hmm.
Because you've been called out on how you're acting exactly like how you don't, what you're advocating against. You're acting just like them. So if you believe in illegal aliens allowing to have sanctuary on this campus, put your money where your mouth is, leave me alone, and let me have sanctuary on this campus, okay?
Very good. You know, it's great to see security with her. If you guys look, that she has a pretty big guy right next to her and watching over her. She's been attacked quite a bit. You know, Nick Shirley's also one that's been getting some death threats for exposing a lot.
Danger is real. Like, for instance, last time I was in California, a few trips back, people were trying to dox my location live. I was at a hotel, and people were up on Reddit group chats saying where I was staying. And it's happened a few times now, so it's like almost even dangerous for me to go stay at hotels because you can get doxxed really quick and people can find out where you're at. You get constant death threats from people. The fraudsters are angry. In fact, they're very angry. I've had death threats, and one of them was even very specific about the date. It's actually supposed to be coming up very soon, the date that they said they'd kill me. So that was interesting. And you just get all these death threats. You get doxing. But the majority of the public are very thankful. Like, when I'm out in public, so many people come up to me and say thank you. It's actually interesting, at Sacramento, when I was just there, so many people were saying thank you, but the people inside the building, they all hate me because I'm exposing their corruption. But the people love me.
Nick, the bot.
Again, exposing the left, the evil Democrats who always tell you to tolerate their immoral behavior. Tolerate everything that we do, even though it's evil, tolerate us. But the moment that we call out the truth and show them their disease, they want to kill you. Dan Scavino posted a guy with a boomerang. There it is, and it hits him in the head, coming back. And he said, a reminder to federal officials, there's no limit on the number of individuals who can use the whistleblower statute. Well, he posted that at 10:45 p.m. Ultra Dean Erickson said, here comes the Brennan Boomerang. Dan Scavino's post is a John Brennan post from September 28, 2019, saying a reminder to federal officials, there's no limit on the number of individuals who can use the whistleblower statute, which he tagged with the little video of a stick man throwing a boomerang. 10:45 on the cue board, and Anon asks, How soon? Q replies, we don't inform our enemies of the specifics. We instead instill fear in them to make unplanned and disastrous countermoves. What's the calm? By using John Brennan's statement, there's no limit on the number of individuals who can use the whistleblower statute. Along with the, video of the Boomerang, Dan is letting us know we have plenty of whistleblowers and they are talking. And now the Boomerang's about to, hit Brennan in the head. How soon? Dan's letting us know it's about to, it's about ready to hit Brennan in the head. But still, we don't inform our enemies of the specifics. We instead instill fear in them to make unplanned and disastrous countermoves. Never interfere with an enemy in the process of destroying himself. Hold the line, Patriots. I would look for John Brennan to be indicted very soon because Dan is letting us know that Boomerang is coming. It's coming directly at his head. So let's connect some other dots. Tim Cook of Apple announced he was stepping down as CEO the day before the Southern Poverty Law Center announcement came out. Following the 2017 Charlottesville incident, Apple and CEO Tim Cook pledged $1 million each to the Southern Poverty Law Center and the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, I think. Apple just matched employee donations 2-1 and created an iTunes donation tool to support the SPLC. Track the resignations. The coincidences are piling up.
So by now, the breaking news is no longer breaking, okay? We all know by now the gig is up that the Southern Poverty Law Center did a Jussie Smollett on us for years. By paying white supremacist organizations to push manufactured chaos throughout the walls and the borders of the United States of America. Showing up where they're not wanted to agitate the colored folk, okay? To condition us that all white conservatives are racist and to push fear in the hearts of the little children on the streets. Meanwhile, I'm down at the gun range with a whole bunch of white people and we laughing and chalking it up. Because for the life of us, we can't figure out why we hate each other. Oh, that's right. They told us to hate one another. They told us to stay divided. They condition us to think that one is more supreme than another. They work with the media to manufacture clips. President Trump, what do you think about Charlottesville? Well, there are very fine people on both sides. Cut the clip. Wait, I didn't say that. I said there are very fine people on both sides, except neo-Nazis and white supremacists. Well, that's not what we're going to play for the public. We're doing Satan's work here. Satan! PPS USA labeled as a hate group. Few months later, our brother is assassinated with bullets that mark the word hate on it. Oh, there's a lot of blood crying out from the earth. A lot of evil that has been done. A lot of manipulation and indoctrination. America is shaking because God is trying to shake you to awaken you. She has to have a change of heart. Her posture has to change. She has to be willing to hear the truth and how some of these people that claim to be your frenemy, has had you in chains all alone. It's been one big plantation. And only those that could think for themselves will be set free.
You go, girl. Absolutely amazing. So let's go over to Iran before we miss some of the other things that have been happening. Iran oil wells about to get destroyed.
But what you're referring to is that when you have lines of vast amounts of oil pouring through your system, if for any reason that line is closed because you can't continue to put it into containers or ships, which has happened to them, they have no ships because of the blockade. What happens is that line explodes from within, both mechanically and in the earth.
So President Trump laid it out. He said they say they have only about 3 days left before it happens. Storage and tankers fill up. Iran will be forced to shut in their wells. That causes internal explosions, both mechanical and in the earth, permanently damaging the extraction capacity. President Trump said if you rebuild it, it will only be about 50% of what it is right now. A very bad thing is going to happen. The blockade is strangling the regime's cash flow and infrastructure. The mullahs are running out of time. America first is delivering. President Trump also canceled, the trip of representatives going into Islamabad, Pakistan to meet with Iranians. He said too much time wasted on traveling. Too much work, besides which there's tremendous infighting and confusion with their leadership. Nobody knows who's in charge, including them. Also, we have all the cards. They have none. If they want to talk, all they have to do is call. 3 U.S. Aircraft carriers now operating together in the Middle East. CENTCOM just announced that the USS Abraham Lincoln, Gerald R. Ford, and George H.W. Bush are conducting joint operations in the region for the first time in decades. 200 aircraft for each of the strike groups and 15,000 sailors and Marines. Largest naval mobilization in recent years. Massive show of American strength. Speaking of oil, you guys know that 900,000 barrels of American-made crude oil just arrived in Japan, shipped all the way from Texas through the Panama Canal. Local population is thrilled to receive it. You know, when they put this on mainstream media and the news in Japan, you know that's a big deal, and they're probably desperate for their oil. And listen to this, as Secretary Scott Bessent drops a major move. U.S. and serious talks for new dollar swap lines with Gulf and Asian countries.
So, Mr. Secretary, amid this discussion of costs and prices and affordability, how does a $20 billion bailout of Argentina help Americans? You're the president's point person on that. Can you explain to those here who are feeling the pinch, including America's farmers, why the United States is helping out Argentina?
Well, do you know what a swap line is?
It's currency swap, yes.
Yes, but what is that?
You're the Treasury Secretary.
Yes, but why would you call it a bailout?
That is how...
In most bailouts, you don't make money. The U.S. government made money. We used our financial balance sheet to stabilize the government. One of our great allies in Latin America, during an election, the president there won in a landslide. The government's going to make money, and I would rather use peace through economic strength than have to be shooting at narco boats coming offshore if the government collapsed. We have a generational opportunity in Latin America to create allies. We just saw an election in Bolivia. We're probably going to see an election in Colombia. We've seen them in Ecuador. We're going to see them in Chile. So by stabilizing the economy there and making a profit, then that's a very good deal for the American people. And there's a lot we could have been doing for American farmers, but Democrats closed the government.
Mm-hmm. So how has the United States made...
So big moves there. You know, we got into this talk about the fiat dollar. There's a revolt against the American dollar, and precious metals important for the future of America and all, with Dr. Kirk Elliott once again Saturday. If you guys missed this interview, man, it was tremendous. And we got some great quotes from Judy also. And guys, you just got to go check it out if you haven't watched it yet. Very, very good information from Dr. Kirk Elliott.
This isn't a new thing, right? So you go back to, a decade ago, right? Let's go back a decade. What did they start putting together? They've already started working on electronic payment messaging systems. Mm-hmm. In Iran, of all places, right? CPAM, it's SEPAM. It's their system for electronic payments messaging. Now you add that to the structured financial messaging system. You add that to CIPS, which is China's cross-border interbank payment system. What is all that to do?
Yeah.
To get these countries talking electronically, economically, to get rid of SWIFT.
Right. Yep. So you guys can hear the whole interview, and you know what? Reach out to him. andweknow.com/gold. Get a hold of Dr. Kirk Elliott or somebody on his team, and they will help you out. They'll pray for you, help you understand why it's great to bring your IRA over. So good. And watching silver make its moves, it's just been tremendous. Every single week we've been watching how the price moves have really helped a lot of people, especially those that got in a few years ago when it was $20 an ounce. I think it's up to $75 to $76 now as of this recording. So, really good moves, big predictions for that. So hope you guys check that out. Now, President Trump, other big moves that he's making. You guys know that he's changing he's actually redoing the reflecting pool at the Lincoln Memorial. 2,500 feet, the length of the tallest building in the world, starting the final phase of renovation that was supposed to cost $301 million and take over 3 years. It was instead done with the help of Secretary of the Interior Doug Burgum and his entire department, in a much better final result. $2 million in 1 week. Guys, he went from $301 million to $2 million just to renovate. Oh, man. And check this out. He put this out, Hussein Obama, right? When he's running the show, you got a swamp. And then you look at President Trump's view, and it's nice and crystal clear blue. Wow. Ultra Macadine Erickson. I don't believe it took me so long to realize what President Trump is telling us with these pictures of the reflecting pool. We were always told to watch the water. In this first set, he's showing us he has drained and cleaned it out, the swamp. He's putting a fresh coat of paint on it. In the next picture, he's telling us a clean swamp is coming soon, also known as a clean house with safe and secure elections. And the final set, he's showing us a dirty swamp of Obama versus what the clean swamp will look like with him as president. In short, by watching the water, President Trump is telling us the swamp has been drained and is being cleaned out of all the dirty deep state actors in Obama's administration. And a newer and cleaner Washington is coming soon under President Donald J. Trump. Now, you saw the picture in the thumbnail that was released. Dan Scavino released that photo that you're looking at there on your screen. If you're listening, it's really good. All the guys crowded around in the Oval Office. It appears to be watching a video probably right after. They're all wearing their tux, so it's right after the attempted taking of his life. That's my assumption. He posted this, and he put, Dan Scavino put 4/25/26, so April 25th, 2026. And he made sure that he put 10:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? That's when the photo was taken. He wanted us to know that, so we would go look up 22:15, the military time stamp, and it says panic in DC, panic in UK, panic in DC, panic in UK. It's I kind of reversed the orders a little bit, but there's a lot of panicking going on for sure. No matter what they try to do, President Trump is protected. Listen to this.
Don't y'all see that God is protecting the president? Does anybody else see that God is the one protecting the president? Every attempt, they can't get to him. They clipped his ear.
Mm-hmm.
When he was in the golf course, that crazy dude, they found him first. This guy popped off at the correspondent dinner. He did it in the lobby. But they can't get to him. And I want to put this warning out here for everybody who's trying. You're going to fail. He is God's anointed. He is God's messenger. Do y'all not notice he's telling people to put the Bible back in their homes? Pray. The White House read the entire Bible for 7 days. It's getting ready to get worse, y'all. I'm telling y'all. Satan is out here and he's getting ready. They're trying to destroy our country, and God gave us a strong person, a lion to stop this. Pray for our president. Pray for the ones who are with the GOP who are trying to do the right thing. Pray for them. Pray for them. Pray for their strength. Because there's a lot of rhinos in there that have hooked up with these Democrats to take our country down. No. They can go on to the lake of fire with Satan. Pray for the ones who are trying to save our country. Anyway, y'all, I'm in major prayer right now. Get ready to cover my head and go back to prayer for our president.
That's from @jy.the.proverbs.31. Dan Scavino also posted, in light of this evening's events, I ask that all Americans recommit with their hearts in resolving our differences peacefully. He put that quote from President Trump. The picture of President Trump, Dan Scavino, and others from the cabinet standing around talking to the press in tuxedos. He posted this 12/29, 0029 Eastern Standard Time. DC Lindstone caught on to that. And that's where we look to drop number 29. The pedo networks are being dismantled. The child abductions for satanic rituals, they're paused, not terminated until players in custody. And then it ends with this. We pray every single day for God's guidance and direction as we are truly up against pure evil.
For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you again to your throne, and we just want to thank you once again for your continued guidance and direction in all of our lives. We thank you for the leaders that you've put into place to take down this evil, and we lift them up to you now even more so for their protection that would be continued as we've read and we've seen many of the evil ones, the witches, the Satanists, trying to cast spells and thinking that they have the power to take our president down, and they've admitted on their chat rooms, and you've seen it, they admitted in their chat rooms that they just can't seem to get to him. He's got protection around him. We thank you for that answer to prayers. We've been praying for his protection. I'm sure millions of people on this earth have reached out and filled up your bowl of heavenly prayers. It's pouring down on this earth now. We have watched evil continue to do all they can in desperation to cover up their tracks of evil and sin beyond anything we could ever imagine. You know those. You've seen it. You understand it all. We ask that you continue to guide and direct our own hearts, our own lives, to have great talks with our neighbors, our friends, family, and more as we move further down a direction of exposing just how terrible these things have been that have been playing out before our very lives and our eyes. We ask protection of our own families. Help those out there that are hurting financially, physically, mentally, and more. Would you just give them a calming peace right now? Maybe somebody call them if they need a call. May they just realize how much you care about them. You sent your only begotten Son, that whoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. And in his name, Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen. Thank you, folks, for tuning in. Another big weekend, right? It just seems like there's never a dull moment. We're going to continue to bring the information to you as it plays forward for all to see. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your support of this channel. For now, this is LT, Semper Fi, with them we know. Signing out.
I've studied assassinations, and I must tell you, the most impactful people, the people that do the most, you take a look at the people, Abraham Lincoln, I mean, you go through the people that have gone through this, where they got them. But the people that do the most, the people that make the biggest impact, they're the ones that they go after. Believe me, because, you know, it's my life. And I want to live because I want to make this country great. That's why I want to live. But when you're impactful, they go after you. When you're not impactful, they leave you alone.